Okay, so let's go back to coordinate geometry of circles. Last lesson we have understood the standard equation for circles. Okay, where we know the center of the circle as well as the radius. Okay, we ended up with try 4. Okay, we have not yet completed try 4 part C, whereby the center is negative 4, 3. And then after that, it says that it touches the y-axis. Okay, so we want to know how do we actually form the equation based on this information. Okay, so we have the center, but we don't have the radius. How should we go about finding the radius? Okay, maybe at this point, if you look at this question, it will be hard to imagine. Okay, I think it's important for us to draw a diagram to illustrate this. So we have negative 4, 3 as our center. Maybe it's somewhere here. Then after that, it says that it touches the y-axis. Okay, touching, we tend to say that we just touch once. Okay, it's a tangent. The y-axis is the tangent. Okay, I'm not good at drawing circles. Let me reverse this. Reverse engineer this. Let's draw a circle first. Okay, my circle is not exact, okay? It might not be the correct thing, right? But basically, it encompasses the information that we know. That there is a center of negative 4, 3, and then also touching the y-axis, alright? Okay, but we need to be able to find out what is the radius, alright? Okay, so touching the y-axis, maybe let me label, okay, the axis itself based on the center. So this will be negative 4. Okay, and then after that, this will be 3. Okay, if I label it in this manner, could you find out what is the radius? What would the radius be? Radius 0 minus negative 4. 3 negative 4. Radius value 4. Okay, if you recall, right, when we have a circle, and we have a tangent, we call our circle properties. Okay, what does that imply? What else? What other information can we get if we have a center and a tangent? It will be a right angle perpendicular to the radius, right? 90 degrees, correct? Okay, so therefore in this case, my diagram not well drawn again. Okay, so this will have to be 90 degrees to the tangent, which is the y-axis, and therefore this part will have to be the center lah. Okay, so it is from the center to the point, okay, on the circle, any point on the circle, this value itself will have to give us the radius, right? So what is the radius value in this case? It will be 4 units, right? Because this distance here is 4 units. Do you agree? Okay. This diagram is only serve the purpose of getting the understanding. Okay, it might not be accurate, okay, for the values that we have, right? So therefore, okay, with this value, it aids us in finding out what is the radius. Okay, to understand what the question means. So radius is 4 units. Okay, center we have it already. So therefore, the equation will be x minus negative 4. Then after that, y minus 3 squared equals to 4 squared. be able to get this equation. Maybe the next 6 minutes or so, okay, to find out the equation for these two parts of the question. Okay. Okay, I just need you to leave it in standard equation form. So I've written the answer on the whiteboard, as in the final answer. Question 1B and D? No? Okay. Shabu, are you done? For part B, what would the radius be? For part B? Brian, yep. What do you get? 2. Okay, so the radius will be this part, so therefore it's a vertical length. Okay, so that will be 2. Okay. Then after that, so down here 2 squares, so therefore answer will be this. Okay, then after that for part D, okay, so since it touches both axes, the diagram should look more or less like that. Okay, so it is actually a uniform part, so therefore the radius will also be 2. So 2 square, therefore you will get this equation at the end. Right? Okay, so let's move on to look at try 5. Okay, where we are given 2 points, they are endpoints of the diameter, and we want to find out the equation of the circle. Okay, so how do we go about finding out what is the equation of the circle if we do not have the center in the first place? How can we find out what's the center? Find midpoint, okay. But in this case, do we really need to find midpoint? Could we just go by observation and get what is the center?
Yeah.
How?
Diameter.
Because in this case, these 2 points, they both happen to lie on the x-axis, isn't it?
No, just divide by.
Okay, so this will be B negative 40, and then this is A 40. So coincidentally, you'll find that the center is actually at the origin, right? Okay, because 4 units, huh? But of course, in a general approach, okay, we can find the midpoint. And we will still get 0, 0. So the center will be at 0, 0. Then how do we find the radius? Sorry? Chpt? Huh?
The length of the line.
Length of line segment, then after that we divide by 2. But in this case, if I have a diagram drawn out like that, would it be easy for us to interpret what is the radius? What is it? It will be 4, right? So in a general way as well,
endpoints of diameter. You can just automatically assume that it's the same diameter. As in like, because diameter will like that, then there also will be
does it affect where the center will be?
like different points of the diameter.
Huh?
Those points are different diameter.
If we change the diameter, there are 2 points of the same diameter. It not, yeah. If it changes diameter, if we have maybe given these 2 points instead, does it affect where the midpoint will be or where the center is?
Because the question doesn't state the diameter.
It will be the same diameter in this case. Okay? Right? They are from the same diameter, okay? So therefore, having different points of the diameter also doesn't affect the answer. Okay, so anyway, going back to this, the radius will still give you more. Okay, so therefore we can get the equation. Okay, it will be x squared plus y squared equals to 16. Right, because the center, okay, is at the origin, so x minus 0 will still be x, and y minus 0 will still be y. Okay, and then 4 squared will give you 16. Okay? Let's look at part 2. Determine whether the points P and Q are actually inside or outside the circle. How do you want to justify this?
You find the length, you find the distance between the P and the center.
Okay? So is saying we find the distance between the center to P and also center to Q, then what?
And you see whether it's larger or smaller than the radius.
Very good. Okay, so we see whether is it larger or smaller than the radius to decide whether is it inside or outside. Alright? So if it's inside, their value should be smaller or larger than the radius. It should be smaller than the radius, right? If the value is larger, then it will be outside the radius. So that will be the approach that we take. Okay? Of PC will actually be 3.6055. Since the radius is 4, Okay, therefore P would lie, it lies inside the circle. Right? Then after that, the length of QC QC, the length itself is actually more than 4. So therefore, Q lies outside the circle. Okay. Any questions so far? Yep.
Assume that since Q is negative 6, right, it's already way past negative 4 to the first circle.
Doesn't mean if the x coordinate is way past. I mean, this is just a special case whereby they gave you this just nice extreme so-called values. But what if they give you points like that? Then after that, if I have 1 point here and 1 point here, I can still have this point to discuss, right? If this is maybe a negative 3, I cannot look at just an x coordinate. Okay, I must look at the line. Alright, any questions? Okay, next thing that we have to address, okay, we have now looked at how to actually use the center and also the radius to find out the equation of the circle. Now what if, okay, I'm given, okay, the equation of the circle itself, and the equation of the circle that I've given you, maybe it is like expanded form. Okay, if I give you an equation like that in this expanded form, okay, how are we supposed to determine what is the center and what is the radius? Okay, if we can move forward to create equation, we must definitely be able to find a way to actually get the information about this circle in the reverse manner as well. Okay, so in order for us to determine, okay, to have an idea from this equation itself what the center and radius or the properties of this circle would be, okay, we need to look at the expanded form of the standard equation. Okay, so if I were to expand the standard equation, let me erase this first. Okay, so very quickly expanding this, you will get this. Okay, then if I were to rearrange this equation in this form, okay, I will be able to tell that, okay, in this form itself, I will call it the general form, but the general form circle will actually come in this kind of equation. Okay, so how do we actually get this and how do I link to this? Okay, we find that G and F and C, they are actually a certain constant value. Okay, 2G itself is actually the coefficient of X, and in this case the coefficient of X is actually negative 2A. So therefore 2G is negative 2A. A, by the way, is the X coordinate of the center. Okay, so therefore the value of A itself will be negative G, right? Then after that, 2F is the coefficient of Y, and that is actually negative 2B if I were to consider the expanded form of the standard equation. So I will find that 2F is equals to negative 2B, and therefore the Y coordinate of the center will have to become negative F. Okay? So now I have already found out, okay, how do I derive from an equation? Just now the equation I gave was B. The equation I gave earlier was this. Okay, and my question just now was how to derive radius and center. So looking at the coefficient of x and y, okay, I will be able to find out what is the coordinates of the center itself. Okay, then after looking at the radius actually falls in here, and that is actually the value of c that we're looking at. Okay, and in this particular example, that will be the value of 9. So since we have already found a and b, okay, I will then be able to solve the equation to find out what is the value of r. So if I were to substitute in the value of g and f, okay, into the a and b, so that will be negative g squared and negative f squared. Okay, I will be able to leave the algebra to you that the radius will go through this formula. Okay, but at this point you must be thinking, wow, that's a lot of things to memorize just to find out what is the center and the radius. Okay. I do not expect you to memorize this, alright? But if you find that in maths, if you find that you have always been memorizing formulas and that is the way to work for you, then by all means, okay, you can go ahead and memorize this way, alright, of how the format of this equation will be able to get you the center and the radius. But personally, I don't like to memorize my maths. I like to still always rely on the expansion of the standard equation. Okay, I will explain to you in an example how I actually do that, and I will also show you an example of how do we make use of this formula itself. Okay. But before I go into example, are there any questions? Okay, I do an example first. So let's look at try 6. Okay, let's just abandon this one first. Okay, let's look at try 6, even this one. Okay, if I want to use the formula, the information, okay, that by comparing the equations, the expanded equation and the general form equation, by comparing, and I want to use the formulas here, which is that a is equal to negative g, b is negative f, and r will be using this formula here. Okay, then I will need to do some memorizing of this form in the first place. I need to memorize this, okay, if I want to use this information that I get here. Okay, so comparing this form, let me just rewrite here. Okay, I will find that, okay, the coefficient of x in this case, 2g, will be negative negative 6. So g will be negative 3. Okay, there is no term that is in y over here. Therefore, 2f will be 0 and f will have to be 0. So therefore, center will be negative 3, 0. Agree? Okay. Then you need to know that radius will have to follow this formula. So this is where your memorizing will have to take place. Okay, that r will actually follow this. Okay, c is actually this negative 16 over here. Okay, so in this case, 0 squared plus negative 3 squared minus 16, minus negative 16. That will give you the answer of 5 units. Yes, she said. Where 3? What in 3? Wait, 2g. The center is 3, 0. That means, yeah. No, what, negative 3? Eh? Wait, 2g x A is equals to negative, oh yeah. How do I write this? 2G equals to negative 6, G is equals to negative 3. So center will have to be at negative of negative G, right? So therefore negative 3, 0. Okay? So it's a lot of memorizing that you have to take place. Okay, I hate this. Alright? But I just want to show you, okay, this way, alright, if you want to memorize. Okay? So what I will do instead, alright, because we are highly skilled in expansion at this point, isn't it? Okay, I believe we are all highly skilled okay, in doing expansion. Okay, so you just have to remember this standard equation formula. Go and expand it. Okay? So every time you see a circle's equation asking you to find radius and center, go and expand this one. I want a blue marker. There. Okay, I don't have blue markers anymore. Okay, so you just have to remember this one. Expand this. Then rearrange. To achieve this one. Okay? Rearrangement, how do I rearrange? X square and Y square always together. Okay? The term in X. Then I'll get the term in Y. Sorry. Okay, and then after that, the remaining part is all the constants. C. Okay? Then, looking at this given question here, which is x squared plus y squared minus 6x minus 16 equals to 0, we just have to do a compare of coefficients. Okay? So in this case, negative 2ax is negative 6x. So negative 2ax equals to negative 6x. A would be equals to 3. Okay? Are we following so far? Then after that, yeah? I don't answer your question, you go and figure out yourself. Okay? So next, negative 2by. Because there's no term in y, okay? It will be equals to 0. Alright? Then after that, b equals to 0. Okay? Then after, for us to find out what is the radius, we got the a and b already. So 3 squared plus 0 squared minus r squared equals to 0. R squared will be equals, r will end up becoming 3. Okay, r squared is equals to 3 squared, so r is equals to 3. Okay, so therefore, by going through this whole process, okay, we can find that the center will be 3, 0, and then the radius will be 3. Do you understand? Huh? Eh? Yeah, I stop it wrong. Oh, cause 16. Sorry, what am I doing here? 16. Sorry, the question is negative 16, right? Apologies. So r is equals to 5. Okay? So up to you whether you are the memorizing sort or you want to go and expand and rely on your math skills. Okay? Personally, this is my way lah. Okay? I prefer to do this than to do that. Okay, so I will leave it open as a choice to you on how you want to do this. Yes. Complete the square. There's x and y, you know. Normally, to find completing the square in E-maths are already a problem. You want me to continue teaching completing the square? I think that is not feasible. Okay? It works, it works, yeah. But then, looking at the skills that I observed last year, I'm not confident that you can do completing the square very well. So just leave that aside, okay? You actually do it in your E-maths only, okay? In finding your maximum minimum point. Okay? Any questions? Can you use differentiation in math? For what? Instead of completing the square. To find the minimum point? No. It's called you can verify using your differentiation, but still show the differentiation is so fun right now. Okay? Any questions? Sorry, give you what was the question earlier? What's the question? Huh? What do you think? want you to go and think about it and find out yourself whether things are important or not. Okay, go and figure it out yourself, right? It's not that